Now, what we will advise clients to do when there's a disagreement and two people have bought the same land,
okay,
is to go back to the family,
okay,
call for a family meeting,
okay,
let them agree within the family, the persons that sold to the first person,
okay,
and the person that sold to the second person,
okay,
let them agree on who rightfully owns that portion, okay, on the part of the family,
okay,
and who should sell, because you cannot give what you don't have.
Yes,
you must first own it
before you can transfer.
So now there must have been one particular person amongst the family that didn't own it,
yeah,
and yet now sold it.
Yeah.
So that's where the issue would have arisen. So among the family part, we now ascertain who owned that portion of land.
Okay.
Is it right to have sold it? Is it right for this second person to have encroached on his own brother's land and sold it?
Okay.
It's not right.
Okay.
So now you first ascertain within the family,
okay,
who sold this portion of land.
Okay.
Who sold it to this Mr. A? Who sold it to Mr. B?
Okay.
If there are two different persons, we will now ask who owns that portion of land.
Okay.
This person, okay, it's not say okay, A owns it.
Okay.
A has sold.
Okay.
If A has sold, why is B coming to say it is?
Why did it
now also so when it is not his own?
Yeah.
So that's the first question.
Okay.
Now, when the clients are in this meeting,
yeah,
so they have to be in this meeting to ascertain, because if you leave them, they may not have that meeting.
Okay.
They may not have that meeting. They may just forget that it was done and go like that. So they have to come, have an agreement with the honorable of that family that we want to sit down, have a meeting with you people to know who owns this portion of land and why the second person sold out.
Okay.
So now the family have to now agree, okay, A has sold.
Okay.
They will now give that client his own land.
Okay.
Now, they can now say, okay, since the second person has paid
to
this other person,
we
have to find a place within our family land or the ones that belong to Mr. B and give him, because he has already paid.
Yeah.
Right? So they have to now ascertain, okay, how many square meters did he purchase from Mr. A's portion, and then award him that land.
Okay.
And give him like that for him to do his title, his C of O, and then we can proceed.
Wow, this is quite lengthy, to be frank. It's a lengthy process.
It is.
And I want now to advise investors is, based on your suggestion, to be frank, I prefer this. Not everything is court. Not everything is I will sue you, I have a lawyer, I have my brother's cousin, my sister's blah blah, is because this can be resolved in just one single family meeting.
It can.
But in court, this can
take years.
And years. Another party is there.
It's there.
And nobody can use it.
It will devolve to the children. And then the children will be like, some of them may want to fight, some of them will just say, okay, let's just
go. You understand now? So most times is anything that can be settled amicably, that can be settled by 2, 3, 4 meetings, is just better to just go that route than say that, want to fight, you want to do this, you want to, and so on and so forth. Now, Barrister,
sir,
I own a property.
Okay.
I paid for that property.
Yes.
And probably I have fenced the property.
Yeah.
And then I went to that property, or I got a notice that someone else have encroached on my property.
Okay.
On the property that I bought.
You fenced and you have gated.
Yeah, that I have gated. You understand? And then I visited the place and also found that someone have encroached on this property. What are the legal steps that I can take?
Okay, so when you say encroached, there are different types of encroachment. Is it someone else building on that property, or maybe one of these Yarinya, one of these Hausa people that just come and
I'm talking about someone that are built on that particular property.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you fence, you are advised to gate and lock up.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
When that is done, and if after doing that, if there's still an encroachment, then there's a case. Obviously, there's a case. So you are going to sue the person that has encroached.
Okay.
You're going to sue the person that has encroached. That's final on that.
Okay.
Now, it is then we will now find out, how did the person have access to this property?
Okay.
Because it could be that okay, when the person bought from the family, he didn't pay outright or something.
Okay.
But it is not uncommon that a family legitimately sells the property and
after other years sell to another person.
It's not uncommon because it happens. They tell you when you purchase or build something. There are some families that will tell you when you purchase or build something. There are some families that will say purchase it is okay.
Okay.
Right? So for those families that will tell you when you purchase, build something, erect something, even if it is gate house, even if it is a security post, just build something to show that you have somebody presently living there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It will help secure that land. If you don't want to touch that land for another 35 years, another 30 years, build a structure, a security house, let somebody be staying there and watching that place.
Yeah.
In your interest.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
That can protect the interest of the buyer.
Yeah.
So, but if there's an encroachment now and somebody, well, you have to go back to the person that you bought from.
Yeah.
Either it's a secondary buyer or it's from the family direct that you bought from.
Okay.
And you didn't do any of that building or restructure on it.
Okay.
You have to go back to the family and ask them, where is my portion of land? Why is somebody encroached on my land? Who collected money that is that's from another person that is now building on my land?
Okay.
How can I get a refund? If all those questions cannot be asked, you are suing both the person that is encroaching on your land and the family.
Okay.
And the family head, everybody inside the family. Because some families are like that. Even after they tell you, don't worry, they will collect money and then they'll take another person there, he'll build, and you start living for another 4-5 years, and then you say, but I paid. Wow. I paid in 2003. This person paid in 2006. So dates matter. First in time precedes whoever comes.
Okay.
Later on.
Okay.
That's another rule in law. First in time. So if somebody comes, even if it is a minute or an hour earlier than another person, it can be the same day. But if it's an hour earlier than, or even a minute earlier than, he just paid by transfer, and the family have seen it and have acknowledged that they've received it, that sale has completed. So first in time, if there's a first in time purchase and the person is like, okay, yes, the family have accepted this payment, I legitimately own this land. So that first in time helps to ascertain the ownership of that land.
Who paid first?
Yes. So that will protect the interest of that person.
Okay.
So, but going back to what I said, that if those questions have not been asked, you can sue the encroacher, you can sue the family, and get your property back.
Okay. Now, for some of you guys that don't understand how these things happen, and that's why some like most times when investors come to my DM and are like, oh, Rabiu, want to buy property, you want to do this, I always tilt towards you buying from a real estate company, particularly if you're not in Nigeria, and particularly if you are buying a property for investment. You don't want to touch the property for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and I'm not in Nigeria. If you like yourself, just buy from a company. Yeah, it's not like companies are like 100% safe, 100% whatever, but you can check the branch, check the company, ensure that okay, they are funds property and so on, because that protects you up to a certain level, even if you don't do any other thing on that particular property, compared to you just go straight to the family, buy from them, and you intend to leave this land for 5 years, 6 years, and so on. Now, it will also shock you, Barrister, that they encroach on company's land too. I've seen scenarios where a company acquire a land,
okay,
fence it,
okay,
do the estate gate house,
okay,
and they sold out the property.
Sold out,
okay, and then allocated for investors.
Okay.
Then after a couple of years, the same property, another company comes, remove their banner there, put another banner there, and then start selling that same property. It happens, like no jokes.
Okay.
To be frank, and that's why to be very frank, some of you guys that bought Ibejuleki like 6-7 years ago, you don't have a land. I'm just being fair, particularly if your land is all those far inside places where you have to drive like around 2 hours or and so on. Because some of this land, the companies only did a contract for sale with the families.
Yes.
And after some of these companies they finish selling this property, they don't continue their obligation with the family.
The family, the default.
So after the family have been chasing them for like 1 year or 2 years, see that there is no answer, they'll just pick another company, sell to those who want to. And now we just go there, change the paint, change the gatehouse, put another banner there, and start selling. You get? So these things happen for you. All these different disputes, it happens, and that's why it's very important that you understand the different ways to protect yourself against all this, because eventually there will be a dispute. When I bought a particular property from a company, they're giving me a survey plan, they're giving me a deed, and whatever dates that I want to go there and claim allocation, I'll claim possession of my property, I found out that the estate name have changed. They have reallocated that plot to another person. So there'll be a dispute.
So in this kind of situation, right, we usually advise clients, investigate the title of the company first.
Okay.
Before you purchase it.
Okay.
So how does that help you? That helps you in the fact that you see that one that the company has not fulfilled their obligation to the family.
Yeah.
Now you will be shocked to understand that these companies, they've been given maybe like, okay, pay the so amount
at so stages, milestone
stages. Now these companies, some of them, they default for a very long time. That was what will make family to be annoyed and say, okay, you're not doing no shemo.
Oh yeah.
Or not doing again.
Yeah.
You will now sell to another company.
Yeah.
So in investigating the title of the company to find out that they have actually made full payments on that land, then you can go ahead and buy from them. But when they have not made full payment on that land, it is advisable to stay clear for the moment.
Okay.
Stay clear. Let them make full payment. Let them fulfill their obligations with the family, because that will help protect your own interest as a client.
Yeah. And to be frank, lawyer, you are correct about that. And one thing that I always do on this show is to be as transparent as possible and to be as frank as possible with the investors. If you follow what he just said, to be frank with you, you're not going to buy any property in Bejuleki and Epe. If you follow what he just said, you're not going to buy any property in Bejuleki and Epe, particularly you guys that love pre-launch. You know, it comes like, Radu, I don't want to lose this pre-launch show. I say this property from 2.5 million is going to 4 million, and I need to pay that deposit today, or else the property price will change. See, pre-launch, in 90% of pre-launch, the companies have only paid a deposit.
They've not paid outright.
They have not paid outright.
They've not fulfilled their obligation.
And that's why them too, they slash the price, because they want to get these funds so they can quickly clear whichever family they want to clear with. I like analyzing and assessing the risk of your investment for you. So you yourself as an investor, you know the different fallbacks and stop gaps that you have to do to protect yourself. You get now? So in most cases for pre-launch, the companies have only paid a deposit or a down payment, or they have an agreement, a mutual agreement with the family that, okay, I want to pay you so amount. So they want to set the price as low as possible so that they can sell as fast as possible and get these funds and clear the families. So if the company is reputable, definitely they make sale, they sell, and then they can easily go back and sort the family. Just that some of these companies, they are not reputable, they are not honest, and some of them are even outrightly out there to defraud investors, and that's why they just intentionally sell and just leave the family there. They underestimate the families. That's
another thing.
Yeah,
they acquire this money and they don't go and give the family the payments, or they don't fulfill their obligations. That's where the problem is. The integrity of the owner of that company,
yeah,
the CEO of that company, the integrity of that personnel. If he can be honest enough to, once he gets so sum, he pays it, he continuously fulfills your obligation to the family and pay them off, then you can now sell, or we can continue selling.
Because these things,
because many of them they get the money, but they don't fulfill.
They rather just pack that money and put it in another project again, go and do the same thing with. So we have different companies that have built this as a model. They just pay the deposit here, sell the property. After they sold out, go to another family again, pay another deposit, sell that house. So they just use that one to continue turning over, and they feel like they are facing the property now. The family and these families, a lot of them, they get crazy for it. So they just leave you. They will leave you. All of you will forget the land. The people that invested, because a lot of the people that are buying these properties are investors, basically. Yeah. So, and that's why at times too, I also always advise my clients, if you have 1, 2, 3 different properties that are maybe all those far inside places, try to also look for somewhere that is close to outside.
To modernization.
You understand? Where you feel like, okay, this company, they bought this part, they have this estate they are selling, people are living in the estate, people are building in the estate. So to a certain level, that should have at least they should have done some certain things for people to have been. So you can say, okay, let me just have maybe another 1 plot or 2 plots there. So not like you have 15 properties in Lagos and all the different 15 properties are like a pine side, drive inside. So where something can happen and everything is affected. So these are also the different things that you also have to look out for. So I'm very sure a lot of you have learned some very, very important things. A lot of the things that the barrister shared is not about Lagos alone. Because I know a lot of you guys are buying properties, have farms, different farms in different locations outside Lagos, and a lot of you guys also have other properties. Even some of you have property you inherited.
Yes.
So you inherited, and this particularly for even those inheritance. Likely we are going to do another video on that, because a lot of people ignore what is happening on their inherited property until when that place now boom. That's about now you remember that our family business now. There is no document that partitioned this property that so part is this section. So they just reach there, they see that like even their senior uncles have already sold everything that is everything. So they now start on that. So it's also very, very important, wherever you are from, and that you have some properties, some inherited real estate. It's also important that you start taking some steps.
As regards inherited properties and all of that, it is prime that people ensure that these things are documented. It may not necessarily be a will, but at least let it be documented that, okay, my father acquired 3 plots in Foluishe, my father acquired 4 plots in this. So people know that, okay, within the family, yes, we have so lands in so areas. Let it be documented. Let it be documented as like a deed of transfer, a deed of assignment. Okay, we have it. It is in our house. It is upstairs. I know where it is. So that will help the family in future. And then another thing that helps the location of a property is that the person involved has acquired his survey, his registered survey. So
let me say the family in this instance. So they have an inherited property is in wherever its property is. They should at least have a survey plan.
A survey plan that shows the length and the breadth, how long it is. Is it L-shaped? Is it T-shaped? Is it Y-shaped? Is it a rectangular? Is it a circle? Is it
whatever shape it is?
Do you understand? So it will now tell you that, okay, from this portion, point A to point B, this is how long it is. This is how wide it is. It will show the exact location when you chart it at Alausa or whatever location. It will show you exact spots of where that land is. It defines the length and breadth of the structure of the land. It will help.
We likely will have another session on that, because I know a lot of you guys that have acres of land in different of your hometowns there, and because these properties have been in your lineage, have been in your family down centuries, down different generations. So it's also important you take some certain steps at least to protect your own interest on that particular property, because I always tell you there is no location that you are going to live in 15 years that something will not happen. A level of development will happen there, and as whatever the development that happens there will jack up the value and the interest in real estate. So you don't want to wait for that development to come before you protect your own interest. So you want to protect your interest before that development comes. So these have been very, very enlightening and very, very educative, and I know a lot of you guys have learned one or two things, have discovered one or two things in different ways to protect yourself legally, to protect your investment legally, because properties, real estate is all about papers. Is the papers as important as the possession?
Documentation
is very, very important.
Very
Documentations
important. Very important.
are accurate, are perfected to back up your rights and your claim on that property, because anybody can wake up and lay a claim to any property. Is the document that you have to back up your own rights and your own ownership of that property that is going to ensure that your rights and your ownership of that property still continue. So if you have questions, you have reviews, you have something you want to ask, or you have some legal matters that you need some counsel with, Rabi cannot help you with that, but my barrister is here. He can help you with that. Either his contract, his MOUs, his whatever that is anything legal. Just go and meet me. I don't mind me. Say I wear shirts. It's inside sites. It's site we go to, you know, or you have funds and you want to know how to invest that fund. That one, I want to be here. But whenever I come to all those indemnity, blah blah blah, I beg, I don't know what to do. So we try as much as possible to bring in these guys, to have these guys also, so that, you know, you need legal counsel, we have a barrister, you need survey help, you have a surveyor, you need this, you have a builder, you need this, we have people at the ministry. So just to ensure that you have everything, you are well equipped, because we understand that some of these things are not like online where you can just search and then pick a number and then you are sure that the person that you are talking to is the right person. So that's why we want to create this platform. We want to put all this awareness out there so that you know what steps you have to take at different situations and when different circumstances arise. So feel free to drop your comments. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your reviews. Feel free to subscribe to our content. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a like if you enjoyed this particular video. Drop your comments. Let's hear your reviews, and see you next time.